Okay, so vocabulary and skills of filling in a table, true or false, and listening for content as well, listening for ideas. So a range of different skills that we're going to do today. We're listening for detail for the most part though. Okay, so should be useful. I found a TED talk and I slowed down the speed of it. Okay, the guy is a very fast speaker. At the end, we'll listen to him at full speed, but we'll listen to it at 75% speed today. And I think it will be a good task. So we're going to do 8 bits of vocabulary first, and then we'll review it. We're not going to do a definition match or anything like that. We'll just go through definitions and see if anyone knows them or can give me examples. So we'll have a chat about that for about 20 minutes, and then we'll do about half an hour on this listening. So here we go. Number 1, caught on our heels. It's a phrase. Okay, I'll read it again. Caught on our heels. Number 2, put into perspective. Number 3, defenseless. Number 4, drive. Could be a noun, could be a verb. It's got different meanings for the verb as well. Number 5, disturbing trend. Number 6, livestock. Number 7, perpetual cycle. And number 8, outwit. Some really interesting vocabulary. I'll give everyone 10 seconds just to check, just check over quickly. Do you think you've made some good spelling? Have you made any errors? Can you correct anything? 10 seconds from now. Okay, here we go. Let's check the spelling. Now, I'm looking for some volunteers, please. Who wants to help me? Even if you don't know the word, I think it's good to have a chat. Even if you don't know what the word means, good to have a chat. We can talk about some examples. Okay, so here are the spellings. All right, here are the spellings. Check your spellings. Type in the chat box for me. How many did you get right? Because some of these are a bit strange, aren't they? Some of them quite idiomatic. Okay, quite idiomatic, but good phrases. So, okay, who have we got? We've got Ozan, we've got Emal, we've got Ennis. Great, nice to see so many volunteers, guys. Anna, Mary, Mathila. Okay, just make sure you're all ready, guys. 6, 7, 5, 6s. That's not too bad. 5, 5. Okay. Ozan, let's start with you.
Okay, Paul. Hello.
Nice to see you, Ozan.
Nice to see you again.
Right. Okay. So what did you have a problem with in terms of spelling?
Actually, I have a problem with first sentences.
That's a weird one, that one, isn't it?
I heard them cold, not cold.
Cold as in like, oh, I'm cold.
Yeah. I wrote in cold on our heels.
I could imagine that. That probably would make some sense. Cold on our heels. You could imagine that could be a phrase, but
Yeah.
it isn't, unfortunately. And what else did you find?
And then third, I wrote defenseless
With an N.
with E.
Oh, with an I, do you mean?
Yeah,
Like this, defenseless.
yeah, that's true.
Okay, all right. It's worth knowing in English that less often comes at the end of nouns, and it means that you don't have something. So if you're careless, let's say for instance you've got a really, really hot cup of tea and the tea's really full. When you walk like this, don't you? Carefully. If you're careless, you go like this, and you don't care, so you don't have care. If it's your let's say it's your wife's birthday and you don't buy a present, you're thoughtless or
Yeah,
heartless. So yeah, so less, it means without. Okay, so
I see.
that's a mistake you won't make again.
I,
Okay, well, let's talk about this one then. So I think there, Nozan, you probably don't know what this means. Am I right?
yeah, you're right, Paul.
Okay, so do you know what heels means?
Heels, it's um heels is food, part of the food.
Absolutely, yeah. So that's your heel, isn't it? Here. Your toes are here. Okay, there's your big toe. There's your foot. This is your heel. So this is the Achilles tendon, isn't it? The Achilles tendon, and this is your heel. Now, think about, just imagine somebody's going to throw 100,000 pounds into the air. Would you be standing on your heels or on your toes?
I would like to catch the
You want,
air,
you want,
you
so
know.
you'd be on your toes, wouldn't you? Ready.
Yeah,
You're on your toe, ready to jump.
yeah,
So
that's
when
true.
you're on your toes, you're ready. When you're on your heels, you're not ready. Okay.
I so
So so
that
if
mean
you're, oh, go on.
that would be mean is to do something with willingness, right?
It's not about willingness. It's just, I'll give you an example where you could be caught on your heels. Just imagine you are a caveman around your fire, and then a tiger comes out. You weren't ready. The tiger's going to kill you and eat you because you weren't ready. You were on your heels. You were caught by the tiger on your heels. But
Okay,
if you were in the cave and you heard the tiger and you get your weapons ready, and then the tiger comes and you get the tiger, you are on your toes. All right.
I see.
Yeah. So to be caught on your heels is to be unprepared when something happens, normally when something bad happens, but it's not always. But to be unprepared is not good, is it? That's not a good state to be in. All right. So I think that's a really, really interesting phrase. And it's used in this one. It's all about rabies, the listening today. Okay. It's all about rabies. It's really interesting. Okay. Let's do the next one. Let's go for Ennis. Are you there, Ennis? Thank you, Ozan.
Yes, Paul.
Ennis, put into perspective. Have you?
Uh, I guess like imagine three people talking about something, but one of them is in silence, and I suddenly turn him to the. Do you want to put in some perspective? You want to share your idea, your
Okay.
opinion, your opinion. I
Okay.
guess this is
Yeah.
my
So,
guess.
so our perspective, you're absolutely right. Our perspective is a view, a viewpoint, an opinion,
Yeah.
the way you feel. So you're absolutely right about that. But unfortunately, when you said put in your perspective, you're right, but that's not the same as put into perspective.
Oh.
Okay, let me give you an
Okay.
example. So, what do you think about £10,000, Ennis? Do you think that's a lot of money?
Yeah.
So do I. Is it a lot of money when you think about how much money the government's got?
No.
Ah, so we just put it into perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, so another way to think about it is context. To put it into context, what's the situation? £10,000, yes, please. But if somebody says the government is going to spend £10,000 on improving the health service, You'd think
No, this is not a good idea, I guess.
£10,000. Where's the rest?
Yeah.
So to put into perspective means to put into to show we call it the relative value of something. So you might think my building's really big, but then you put it next to the Eiffel Tower and it's not a big building. So it's the relative value, the relation between these things to put in perspective. Another way of thinking about perspective that I use is this. You can easily draw perspective. So if you think you might not know what I'm drawing here. Let me use a straight line. Okay. Think about what I'm drawing.
Mountain?
No,
No, it's not mountain right now.
A pyramid?
no.
Tunnel.
It's
a
a bridge or ways. Walking
Bridge.
way? Streets?
It's a street.
Yeah.
Yeah, or a bridge, I guess. Yeah.
Mm.
So imagine this is a street. Oops. And as you go down, everything gets
Looking up the skyscrapers.
well, it's just this is perspective. It's like you're looking this way, aren't you?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's called perspective, knowing even though that looks small there, I know it's not really small. It's small in the distance, but it would be big if it was next to me. That's about perspective as well. Okay. All right. So you show the relative value of something, you put something into perspective.
Yeah.
It's a way of explaining. If you say to someone, I'm going to put this into perspective, what you're saying to me is, I'm going to show you a way that you can understand better.
Okay.
It's a really great phrase. Okay. I think we probably all know defenseless because I just mentioned it, without a way to protect itself. So imagine you take a snail out of a shell, okay, or you take a shell off a turtle or a tortoise. They can't defend themselves. Okay, if you don't have a gun and you're a soldier, you're defenseless. You can't defend yourself. Okay, if you have no immune system, you're defenseless against viruses.
Like a vulnerability.
Vulnerable. Yeah, completely vulnerable. So babies
Newborn, yeah.
they're born defenseless babies, aren't they? That's why we protect them so much. They're completely defenseless. Now drive. Okay, I'm going to ask Mithila.
Hello.
Okay, Mithila, what can you drive?
Car.
Yeah, you can drive a car, yeah. Yeah, so driving a car means to use energy to move it forward and steer it. Yeah, you're driving a car. Okay, now what does it mean if you drive me mad? You drive me mad.
Make.
Yeah, you make someone mad, don't you? So there's a noun of drive as well, to have drive. If you have drive, then you have the desire and the energy to achieve something. So I would say, I'm not trying to say that doctors are better than nurses or anything like that, but the study period for a doctor is so long, isn't it? So long. You've got to have a lot of, you've got to have a lot of drive to get through 7 years of training and studies. You've got to think to yourself, I definitely want to be a doctor. I'm so determined and obsessed with the idea of it. All of those exams, all of those difficult work experiences, you've got to have a lot of drive to do it. I'm not saying that you don't need drive to be a nurse, but doctor definitely is one of those jobs, isn't it, where it sort of never stops. You never stop having to educate yourself. It's a lot of drive to do it. So in terms of drive here, as another verb, it's almost like a combination. If you drive something, you push it forward with your energy. Okay, so if you drive a project, you can't put a key into a project and turn the engine on and steer it. But you can, with your energy and your desire, you can push a project so it achieves its aims. Okay, you can drive a person. If you're a trainer, you can drive them. You can drive animals. Imagine loads of sheep or loads of cows in a field and you want them in the other field. You drive them somewhere else. Okay. Does that make sense, Mithila?
Yeah.
Okay. So this
Thank you,
type here, this is verb 1 and this is verb 2.
Mhm.
It's got 2 different meanings, but until you understand this one, it doesn't really make that much sense for this, because you can't drive a person or drive a project or drive a group of cows with a steering wheel.
Mhm.
All right. Okay, good. Disturbing trend. Emal, can you name a disturbing trend?
I think it's like a process of disturbing, or like a process of
Well,
like destroying or worsening.
possibly, but can you give me an example of what you think is a disturbing trend?
For example, avoiding vaccination is a disturbing trend.
That vaccine avoidance is a very disturbing trend, isn't it?
Yes.
Now it doesn't destroy something on its own, but when we say disturbing here, it's not like I'm trying to sleep, stop disturbing me. It's not that kind of disturb.
Yeah.
Disturb as in worry. Yeah, it's a worrying pattern.
Yeah.
And you're thinking with potentially bad consequences for the future.
Yes.
So you're absolutely right. This vaccine avoidance right now at this point, it probably isn't that bad. There are still quite a lot of people. Well, the majority of people do have vaccines, but it's growing, isn't it?
Yeah.
The percentage of people is growing that are not doing it. And that's very worrying for the future, because the likes of me and you are going to have problems, or our children will have problems, or there'll be a bigger health burden in society because people are not vaccinated against these things. Okay, good. Yeah, so that's a disturbing trend. Can anyone think of any other disturbing trends?
Yeah, it's like
Closing the-
antibiotic resistance as well.
Over consuming.
Yeah, antibiotic resistance. Yeah,
Global warming.
global warming is
Depression,
for me, global warming is the worst one.
depression, anxiety,
Which is that? Depression?
and anxiety. That's also
Yeah. That's a disturbing trend, isn't it? Yeah, for sure.
Racism.
Racism.
oh, it is.
Unfortunately, when I was growing up in the UK, it felt like racism was just going down, down, down all the time. But I think because of Brexit, there's been a kind of an upshot of it. I think it'll go back down again, though. Hopefully it will anyway. But yeah, these are disturbing trends. They're things which are ongoing, increasing or decreasing. It doesn't have to be something which is always increasing. It could be something decreasing. For instance, did you know that worldwide reading ability is going down?
Yes.
Because people are looking at these things,
Mm-hmm.
TikTok, aren't they? And they're reading. I don't need to read 100 words. I'll read 10 words and that's enough. People watch videos, don't they? So yeah, I think that's a disturbing trend. Okay, good. Livestock. Okay, livestock. These are animals we keep so we can eat them. Yeah, this is livestock. So give me some livestock animals, guys.
For example, country
Cows,
cows,
chickens.
sheep,
Poultry farm.
Don't forget, it's not sheeps. It's sheep.
yeah.
Is it only about cattle or
No, it's not just cattle. Could be goats,
chicken and
chicken.
birds,
Chicken they are counted as livestock, yeah, but they're also called chickens and turkeys and
ducks?
ducks and geese. They're called poultry.
Poultry?
How about the birds, like the birds we eat?
Poultry.
The birds we eat, they're generally called poultry.
Poultry.
But then there's other type of birds that we eat that which live out in the wild. We call them game. So pheasants and things like that, and birds of prey, they would be game.
What do you call like one kind of bird? We call it in Afghanistan kauk. It's called as they are singing. People eat it. It's very yummy.
Yeah, well, look, there's loads of birds that people eat in the UK as well. But animals we keep so we can eat them. For instance, if you had cows for milk, they're not really they're where we're using their milk for when we're getting butter from them. They are considered livestock. So even though we don't eat them, they are considered livestock. But pets are not livestock. We don't get anything from our pets, do we? We just, apart from love and affection. Yeah. So we can eat them or use their products. I was watching a few things not long ago. The biggest contributor to global warming, livestock. Perpetual cycle.
Hi.
It's like a perpetuum model, yeah? Modular. Perpetuum modular.
Something that keeps happening the same way.
At endless?
Yeah. Perpetual means always going. And it's a cycle. So it's not just one thing. So it's not like Paul's having a cup of tea which never ends. The cycle,
like it's season changing, yeah.
The seasons are a perpetual cycle, yeah. So the perpetual cycle for me would be: I wake up in the morning, I make a cup of coffee, I drink the coffee, I go to bed, I wake up in the morning, I make a coffee, I drink a coffee, I go to bed. That's a perpetual cycle. Okay.
Human generation.
I guess so. Well, you think that, but maybe in 1,000 years we won't be here. Who knows? It might not be perpetual, but if you look back over 1,000,000 years, yeah, the humans have developed and things, haven't they?
Son and daughter, and then father, then son, then daughter, and then
And
father.
it's a
Can we
perpetual
say
cycle.
routine day or day routine?
Daily routine. If it's the same every time, then yeah. If it really is, even though we all have daily routines, really every day is different, isn't it? We never have 100% exactly the same day. So perpetual cycle is trying to give the idea that it's something which happens the same way, ongoing, never ending, perpetual. And then outwit. Put your hand up if you think you can outwit me. So, loads of people think they can outwit me. I like it. That's good. I'm sure you can outwit me. Go on, Khalid. What does it mean? Khalid Ahmadzai. What does it mean to outwit?
I think one is outweight. WIGT is like more heavy, like it's like high than the other one. But it's weight, so outweight.
That's outweigh.
Yeah, so outweight.
This one is outweight, cleverness, superior.
Yeah, this is I don't think you do outweigh me, Khalid.
Of course not.
No.
I'm about 80 kilograms. What are you?
Sorry?
I'm 80 kilograms. What do you weigh?
So mine is almost like 78.
I was thinking that I probably do, but you go to the gym, don't you? You've got more heavy muscle than me. But
yes.
Okay. But yeah, so it's not outweigh, it's something different to outweigh.
Yeah.
Ennis, you've got your hand up. Do you think you know outwit?
It's like cheating or
no, that's not fair. That's a negative. You're not cheating if you outwit me. But you can use cheating to outwit me.
okay.
It's not a negative thing.
Okay.
Mary, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, for me, this word associated with fox in the fairy stories, because fox is always like, have this wisdom to gain something from someone in very like specific way, you know.
Yeah, okay, so it's to gain an advantage
Or something
through intelligence. Now, sometimes that's cheating. Yeah, I mean, that says a lot about Ennis, I think, that his way of gaining advantage would be the cheating.
Yeah.
Don't play cards with Ennis, okay. But yeah, to outwit in chess, imagine in chess, the way that you win in chess is by outwitting your opponent. Okay.
It's like over clever.
To be clever, yeah. So this word wit, that's a word that if you live in the UK, you'll hear, because if you describe someone as quick-witted, it means that they think quickly and they're intelligent quickly. Some people, they like to read and think about things for a long time, and they're intelligent, they're clever. Some people are quick. Okay, if you're quick-witted, it means you get the idea immediately and you can move something else. You can move on to something else. Witty is a type of humor that you make jokes that maybe you talk about something which is happening at the moment very quickly, or you can play games with words to be witty. Okay, so anything to do with wit or wits is about having good brain, good fast brain. Okay.
And cunning mean?
Canny is
No, cunning. CUNN.
so
ING.
cunning. So you know
Yeah.
we were talking about foxes before. Cunning and
Yeah.
crafty and canny. All of those words are quite similar. If you're cunning, it means that you're intelligent and you're a bit sly. So you know a fox would be looking around. They don't just go for something. They think, what's the best way for me to do it? So if you're crafty, if you're sly, if you're cunning, you use your intelligence in a way which is slightly hidden. And people don't know about it.
Outwit.
Oh, thank you, Omi. Yeah. American pronunciation there. And to be canny again is to be clever in a way which is, it's not taught to you. You don't learn to be cunning. You don't learn to be sly, crafty, canny, or witty. It's like a natural intelligence. Okay, that's the idea of it. Okay.
Well,
Yes, one last question, then we're going to do
yes,
something.
outwit and all this kind. I mean, outwit. This is a kind of phrasal. I mean, not phrasal, but these kind of verbs. Sorry, phrases. These are what I mean. These are where we can place. I mean, and
what?
these are adjective. I
No.
mean, this is outwit. This is a phrasal verb or what?
No, it's just a verb. It's like beat. Beat is a verb, isn't it? To beat someone, to outwit someone. They're both just verbs. It's not a phrase.
Outwit. Out is the preposition, and wit we are connected this.
I know, but it's still just one. It's still just a verb.
Okay.
Yeah, like outweigh is a verb. I keep putting T on the end of it. Outweigh or overtake. They're all verbs.
It seems that it's like a phrasal verb.
I know, but for instance, to take over is a phrasal verb. That's a phrasal verb, but to overtake is not. But they're sort of slightly different words.